A letter to my son. Dear Chris, I hope you are well and behaving yourself for a change. I'm writing to tell you that your Auntie Val has died. It was a blessing, of course, because she had had Alzheimer's for years, as you know. I don't think I ever told you how much she meant to me, how I wouldn't be here if it weren't for her, so you wouldn't be either. You know, of course, that she was only my half-sister. Why do I say was? She still is. If she still is, if you know what I mean. We mustn't take anything for granted. You know what Shakespeare said? There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio. I think he had a good point. I don't think I ever told you much about my parents, and they didn't tell me much about theirs. When I eventually got old enough to want to know about my grandparents, my parents were no longer with us, so it was too late. I don't want that to happen to you. I've only recently got interested in our family tree. I'm already in contact with Brewers far and wide. Got right back to the 17th century. One thing's clear. People often get things wrong. According to a third cousin twice removed, whatever that means, my dad had a brother I've never heard of. Hang on. Where were we? I was going to tell you about your Auntie Val. Well, I don't think I ever told you that your grandpa's first wife died when Val was only 12 and Auntie Pam only 10. Well, that was sad, but just as well for us. Your grandpa didn't hang about. He advertised for a new wife in the newspaper. I didn't realise they did that sort of thing before the war. Can you imagine what it was like for your poor grandma? She had to go and meet not only this potential husband, but his 2 mourning daughters as well, taken along to weigh her up. Never told you much about your grandma, did I? Well, she never told me much about herself, and somehow I didn't ask her. Since she died, I've often wondered what her life was like before she got married. When World War I ended, she was 20. Did she have a boyfriend? If so, did he die in a trench? Hang on, where were we? I'm supposed to be telling you about your Auntie Val. Well, perhaps you've guessed. She voted for your grandma, and your grandma was, of course, the one Grandpa married. Don't know who Auntie Pam voted for, if anyone, and my heart goes out to her. It really does. I seem to keep straying from the point. I think it must be a family thing. Anyhow, I must get this in the post. I'll tell you more about Val later. Do come to the funeral. Lots of your cousins will be there. We're going to celebrate Auntie's life. Lots of love, Dad.